Welcome to Corner Store Conversations, the podcast powered by Ravamart, the corner store that never closes. I'm Alex Bernasconi, and here we step into the heart of community, creativity, and culture. Each week we sit down with artists, entrepreneurs, and everyday visionaries who are shaping their neighborhoods and building something bigger than themselves. This is like pulling up to your favorite corner store, where stories are exchanged, ideas spark, and community comes alive. Let's get into it.
All right. So my name is Jorge Dionicio. I'm from Lima, Peru. I started working in the sushi industry like almost 20 years ago, a little bit over. Well, for me, everything started back there in Peru. You know, there is a big Japanese population back there, and the ones we have even a Japanese president. So, but he ended up in jail now. He's away. Yeah. Anyway, so for me, everything started a little bit there, and then when I came to the States, I started working in more like I would say like Americanized sushi, you know, with the spicy mayo, cream cheese, and all that stuff. So then after that, was working on that place. The more I work on sushi, I realized I knew nothing about it. So I decided to go to the source. So I spent time in Japan. Then came back to the States and pretty much is working many high-end sushi bars, you know. And, you know, as a Peruvian is my background. So then everything what I learned, I always try to put a little bit of my touch on my heritage on everything what I do.
Yeah. So I remember getting the chance to work with you. It was always my favorite when you did family meal because you usually did it some sort of Peruvian ceviche with sushi. So when did that love really start coming through your cooking and starting to bring some of the Peruvian, classics into your life?
First, it was more about to learn the basics, the tradition about sushi. And once I think I feel more comfortable about my knowledge about sushi, and then I was thinking, oh, this should be a little bit better if I add this a little bit, if I try this. Then I was start playing with some fish, some ingredients, and then it worked well. So then, it worked well for me. Then I say, okay, maybe I need to test this. So then I was feeding some people, you know, trying to taste the flavors, and I had a really good response. So then since then, I feel more confident about it, and then we start changing a little bit, you know. But always respected that tradition, you know?
Yes, of course. And as far as this restaurant, can you go a little bit into your inspirations for this restaurant and how it really manifested itself?
Yeah. So, this restaurant, I always have the dream to open my own place, you know?
Yeah.
But my idea about to opening my own place, it was more about to make just traditional sushi, omakase. But the more the time was passing by, because I think after working 5 years in the industry, I started thinking, oh, one day I'm going to open my restaurant. So since then, I was buying little things, little by little. When I was in Japan, I buy many things, you know, then start, you know, putting away in the storage. And then finally, when I opened this place, so I used everything what I used to buy that I had in the past. But then about the concept about food, so at that time already passed, you know, over 20 years. And then I kind of feel confident to say I know pretty much the in and out of what omakase should be, or what a sushi restaurant should be in terms of traditional Edomite style. But then at the same time, you know, my heritage, you know, I'm from Lima, Peru. I grew up eating a lot of ceviche, a lot of seafood back there. So then I started to incorporating in this restaurant. But then, since previously I was testing in the past, when I used to work on the restaurants, I tested the flavor. So then I got a good acceptation from people. So then I said, okay, this will work better. And also, I cannot make the same that everybody else does. So, it's kind of, New York has a lot of very good restaurants, very good omakasες, but then at the same time, lately opening many omakasες everywhere. Pretty much everybody's doing exactly the same. And then I try to make a little difference, but also not just for the business, but also it says the story behind me. I'm not mixing up just because to make money. It's a cuisine that's been done since, I would say, since the earliest 1900s back there in Peru. So this is nothing new for me. So this is just playing and trying to do homage to the Japanese culture, to the Japanese cuisine, to all my mentors that I work with, and whatever they told me, So that's very. I'm very grateful for that. So then also at the same time, I'm grateful for my heritage. So I think this is what I put it together.
I love that. And if you could, I know you probably love multiple dishes, obviously, but what is your favorite dish right now that hits closest to home or closest to your heart?
Well, definitely I would say the ceviche. Definitely I would say the classic ceviche that we have here. So it's, back there in Peru, it's a little different, I would say, just a little bit, in terms of how we manage the fish. So here, we age our fish, all the techniques, all the way how to take care of fish is very important. This is what I learned working in the sushi industry, how to treat the fish, how to storage, how to manage properly. So this is something that is missing back there in Peru. So then I add this to this restaurant, and when I make ceviche, so that completely change everything, the way how it tastes. Back there in Peru it tastes good too, but here we try to elevate it a little bit better. So that's why here, that's why we're doing here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just don't even know because I'm not a chef, but it's crazy when, you might taste a carrot or a pea at a fine dining restaurant in New York, and you're like, that, I don't even know what you did to it, but it tastes better than any carrot I've ever had.
Yeah, right.
It's just different. You know how to.
It's a lot of dedication, a lot of work. It's a lot. That's. Here it's always at least a 12, 14 hours a day shift. But it has to do it. It has to be that way, otherwise we don't serve. One thing I learned is you have to do always the best.
Yeah.
The best, yeah.
And thinking about that, you're dedicating so much of your time to it. What about the love of sushi and Japanese culture did you really fall in love with that you thought, yep, I'm going to get married to this, it's going to be for the rest of my life? What about it spoke to you?
So that's a really good question. When I was back there in Peru, I was studying electronic engineering. So I was dedicating more about numbers and try to be everything, the calculation, everything, try to follow rules and stuff like that, so this is kind of when I started working in a sushi restaurant, it was kind of like that, it was certain rules that you had to follow. You cannot change, you have to follow the same order. It has to be a lot of organization. So this is something that make click with me.
Yeah.
This is the number one. And the other thing was the seafood, the how, little things that you can do that maybe you don't see it. Those little details, trying to be in every dish or on everything that you do. It can change either the flavor or the presentation of the dish. Yes, working in a Japanese restaurant, you are not able to talk. Everybody's quiet. you cannot talk, because if you talk, maybe you can spit something on the food, or you have to listen every ingredient. So that is something that it changed completely my mind. How dedication you had to put in every aspect that you do. So that inspired me a lot. It motivated me to pursue for the excellence, also for perfection. But I never gonna get the perfection, but I always try to get into there. Even though I know I'm not gonna get it, but I have to pursue that.
Yeah. So are you saying that I was probably quite obnoxious when I would bother you guys breaking down the fish every single day?
Yeah. No, that was a good time. It's always a good time when we have people from outside that
Yeah.
knows nothing about it. And for us, it's pretty much, it's kind of our everyday routine. And for you guys, oh my gosh, this is so amazing,
Yeah.
And that kind of, feeds our ego. Oh, we're doing something good, but that was inspirational, to do that thing and try to teach this to other people that doesn't know.
So I know that over the years you've had a lot of different mentors. What is one of your favorite, words of advice that you've ever received from one of them?
Just do your best and never give up. Just
I love
push
it.
Push it.
Yeah.
No matter how hard it is.
Yeah.
How much you're crying, because I cry. Believe me, I cry sometimes, and I say I cannot do this.
Yeah.
But I had to push through. Say just don't give up, just push it. Life is gonna hurt you really hard, but you have to keep going.
Yeah.
There's no other way. There's no other way. You can't escape from that.
Yeah. So I will say one thing, because you know me, I've worked in a lot of different restaurants in New York. And one thing that already caught my eye, even though I haven't been to your restaurant yet, is every single restaurant in New York, everyone listen up, they all order napkins from the same place. And they all look the same. I noticed that you have, are they Peruvian napkins, or what was the inspiration for the cloth that I saw?
Yeah, those clothes are pretty much those are placemats. So we use it mainly for the omakase, for the hinoki counter. Yeah. We have a beautiful hinoki counter. So then very delicate. So that's why we put the placemats in there. And in the beginning, I was thinking to put some the classic Japanese ones, but then I said, well, we can add some beautiful colors here. Yeah. So then why we don't use the Peruvian one? All right, boom. And then also our chairs are the same way, are covered with that. So then so to add a little bit of the Peruvian fabrics and that, so the design of the restaurant also. I was supposed to hire a designer, but I ended up designing myself.
I love it though. It brings a little flavor. It brings the spice from. So then,
I try to add the Peruvian touch in this. So it pretty much is a lot of Japanese inspiration, the calm, and but then I say I need to add a little bit of spice from the Peruvian side. So then I add this fabric.
Oh my God! Yes.
So we got these pillows on the couch here. Try to add that, but it's awesome. It's pretty cool. It matched perfectly here. So that's why I added that. But yes, sorry, but we're still using that company for the napkins, for the white napkins. Okay. Yes, regular one.
Okay, that's okay. I mean, it makes the most sense. Like economically and price wise, I get it. It makes the most sense. Yeah. But yeah, so I just saw that there was just a little something different with the place setting. So
yeah. Try.
Okay, so a question, you might not have an answer for this, but this is going to be the final question. Is right now, do you have a favorite brand? And by brand, I can say either clothing or knife or literally anything that you deal with every day, or cutting board, favorite brand, or anything that you come in contact with that you are enjoying right now.
Wow. And hard to say that. as a brand, well, here is the thing. So I'm not really into brands, but if I see something, if I'm looking for a product, and also I'm not looking for something cheap either. That just because I don't believe in brands doesn't mean I believe in cheap stuff. But it's very hard to find a brand that is consistently, they have everything always good quality, and for that, it's very hard to say that to me. But if I see something that is good, I always look in something always for the best. Usually, but not always the case. But usually, the most expensive one is the better one, right? But not usually that happens. But I always try to look for something a good product. If the brand is the X brand, okay, I buy. I don't care. But if I always looking just for the good quality, for the good material, whatever it is, always looking for that. But if I had to choose, maybe if I something that kind of qualifies on that, I would say in terms of cutting boards, for example, right? I would say that Hasegawa, it's a really good brand. It's always consistency, a good product. Always thinking how your knife is gonna be cannot touch that much the surface, so to make it dull, So it is always that brand always looking for a perfection thing. And I had an honor to meet the owner of that brand. And they show me all the process and everything. So I think I would say kind of a brand like that, because they always try to looking for the perfection, always deliver, always consistent, see in every product that they do. So I would say that, but maybe I forget another brands, but like I say, I'm not go into brands that much. But if, for example, if I find another brand that it has I would say maybe a better quality, that I say, oh, maybe I will go with another one too. But depends, it has to be really a good quality.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for.
Okay. So I will ask one final question, and that is, it's very difficult opening a restaurant. It's even more difficult opening a restaurant in New York City. What's your goal for the next year?
Open 2 more locations. Open 2 more locations, yeah, of course. But not just in New York. Have trains to open. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, right. Maybe. I think we'll work well. I think right now I cannot complain. So people like the food a lot. So everything is good. I just need to be on the team, which is really hard. Once I have a really strong team, the core, and then I can start thinking.
Got it.
Different. Yeah.
Well, you are, as always, very inspiring, and so I'm sure that you will attract and magnetize the best team ever. So.
So far, I cannot complain. I have a good team.
Good.
They are working very hard, very talented guys I have, and I cannot complain. I'm so happy to have them.
Good. Thanks for hanging out at Corner Store Conversations. If today's talk inspired you, share it with a friend and keep the conversation going. For more everyday delights, follow along at Rava_Mart on Instagram and at Corner Store Conversations on YouTube. Until next time, stay creative, stay connected, and remember, the Corner Store is always open.